So in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about formatting. We've got our schedule here that we took in and out with Excel, and then we've got this guy, and then I've got a legend up here that we'll talk about in just a minute. But first let's do a little bit of formatting on the plan. So I'm going to come in here, and I was a little sloppy with this guy. I kind of just drew it as a square. So I'm going to come in here and go to architecture and area boundary, and I'm going to make a little arc right there, right? Which means I can pull this guy kind of back to there, right? It's not going to change the area, but it's going to sort of neaten it up a little bit. And then I'm just going to go in and change the area borders from purple. So if I go to my visibility graphics, I can scroll down to my lines, and if I expand those lines, I get the area boundary, and I can override that color right to whatever color you want. So let's say, I'll just make them black, and then if you wanted them to be a little thicker, set them to an 8, click OK, click OK, and then if I do thick line, you'll see those guys. Now, you get into a little trouble here with if you want a sort of dashed line there to represent your bar. Also, these furniture pieces are overriding the booths. So if you're having that issue, we can talk about how to deal with it, but it's kind of up to you. Like, I would come in, and I'm just going to hover over that area boundary and tab select it, right, all of them, and then right click on it and go to hide and view elements. Right, so now I just have sort of that dash line there showing up for the bar. And so you can go in and kind of clean it up, as you like. You can also do things like, if you don't want the bathroom showing up here, you can just turn them off by going to your color scheme and removing the hatch from the color scheme if you want to do that. Let's see, what else? Oh, one other thing you may want to do is that right now, like, these tables are on top of the hatch, but if you want them to be behind the hatch, you can take the color scheme and move it to the foreground, and then the hatch will go over whatever it happens to be on top of. And then, let's see. The other thing I wanted to talk about is like how to maybe adjust your color scheme legend. So this is a color scheme legend here. So if I pick this, you'll see it says color fill legend. If I go to edit type, there are a few things you can control. But what I did is I added the this should be actually 200. Added the ratios underneath. Whether you want to do that or not, it's in the schedule, so I don't know if you want to duplicate information. I typically wouldn't. I would usually just leave it in one place. So that's kind of up to you, but this is an actual text added thing. And then let me go ahead and sort of get out of this. This is actually a separate legend. So if I double click on that, it's actually a separate legend that I made that I just am sticking on top of this guy. So to do that is actually pretty simple. You can go to annotate and or actually, sorry, view, and you want to create a legend, and you can come in and set it to whatever scale that is set to. You can update it later and click OK, and then you can just go in and go to your annotate tab, and I'm just going to create a detail line, right, that is the size, kind of what we're using. And then I'll just go to my text and create text that says, bar, right? And kind of move that into place there. And then if I close that legend 1 and I come in and go to the legend, you can drag that legend out onto your sheet, right? And put it wherever you want it. So, and adjust it however you want it, right? So I'll just get rid of the title and let's see, what scale is this guy? 1/8 of an inch. Let's move this guy kind of up here. And if it's at the same scale, then you want to double check this guy. How big is that? That's 1/8 of an inch Century Gothic. So let's see how big this guy is. 1/16 of an inch. So if I go to 1/8 of an inch, right, and then kind of move it into place, then, and you can kind of pull this however, make it fit however you want, and then double click, and you've got that on top of these, right? So it's a little bit of a hack, but you do the best you can. So I think that's about it. I think that's enough. All right.